All right, welcome to the breakout session recording of the Real Estate Listing Playbook, 5 times your listing every month. First of all, a big thank you to Jerry James, Advance, and the whole team for making sure that we can bring this breakout session to you. I know it is important to the organization for every attendee to meet the listing goals, to get more listings, and it's very important to you, right? I can assume that most of you are here to build a business, to get more listings. Some of you are here specifically to transfer over from position over from being a buyer's agent to being a listing agent. In this webinar, in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly step by step the best way and the fastest way and the most cost-effective way to get a listing appointment a day at least and get hopefully 5 times more listings every month. For some of you, that might mean 5 listings a month. For some of you, that means 5 listings a week or 10 listings a week. Agents have been doing all kinds of things. I would be surprised if you cannot get 1 or 2 transactions at the very minimum, adding on to your sales portfolio every single month. Okay, this has been tried and tested for years. It works especially in this market right now. So everything is adapted to what is working right now. Like everything that Jared James does and promotes, it is what are you going to do right now to make a difference and have a breakthrough. So let's dive right in. Who is LandVoice and who am I? LandVoice has been the top data provider for sellers for the last 30 years and helped agents put more signs in the yard than any other company out there. And I'm so humbled and so grateful to be a VP of business development, where I'm in a position at LandVoice to travel the whole country and talk about how we do that, how we help our clients, help you to get more listings. And this presentation I'm going to do right now is awesome. It's great. Agents have been commenting on it and say, this helped me so much. I walk away with actionable items, with a platform, with a system that actually I can put into work the next day, and it works. I'm going to show you several testimonials, several agents like you and me, I'm an agent as well, who have been doing this. First of all, reality check. Last year, only or 71% of agents didn't have a single transaction, while 29% had all the business. So we want to focus on what have these 29% been doing different to have a phenomenal year last year. And this year is very similar. A lot of agents still saying, I can't seem to get traction. It's hard to convince people to sell their home. Why is it so difficult? Is it because of the interest rate? What's going on? At this event, you already heard of a lot. I know that you learned a lot of overcoming objections and so on, what you can do differently, some niche opportunities. This presentation will show you how we can put you in front of the right type of sellers at the right time. We got to focus on certain areas in the country. Actually, any area applies. But a lot of you are in Florida, so I will share some data specifically how you can get 5 times more listings in Orange County, Osceola County, Seminole, and Lake County. But the rest of you don't tune out. I'm going to give you an opportunity to submit your counties, and we do a free lookup for you, what the opportunity is like in your specific counties. So this is one of those breakout session recordings where you can actually be interactive. Again, I'm going to show you how you can do that. By the end, you will have actually the data that you were looking for. You can easily be in a red ocean versus a blue ocean if you do even the right strategy at the right time, but you're doing it at the same time like everybody else. So the right time, of course, is you want to be first. But how can you be in a blue ocean if everybody is trying to be first? Well, that's what I'm going to show you in this presentation. First, we need to focus on the right type of sellers. We don't want to focus necessarily just on people who may want to sell their home next year. I think it's important to build a pipeline, but I know you need now business. So let's focus on need sellers who are motivated to need, who must sell their home right now. And the number one category of those sellers is definitely expireds. They have a hand up in the air. I want to sell my home. I want to use an agent. I want to pay commission. So it's the ideal lead source. We know these important facts. 78% of all sellers and expireds end up listing with a first agent who calls them. 51% sell the home if they reuse the same agent, if they're an expired, and 71% actually sell if they use a different agent. So everything you see here is in favor of you if you want to be first. And it's good for the seller because they have a better chance to sell their home the second time around if they pick a new agent, if they pick you. So let's focus a little bit on 78% who list with a first agent get the listing. Now, why is that? Because the first agent has a chance to talk to them before everybody else does, before they get upset and say, oh my gosh, I'm getting 20 calls a day, and they just hang up on you. Even if you have maybe the best solution, but you're the 20th agent, you don't get a chance to share with them what you want to share. The first agent, however, has a conversation similar to this. Oh my gosh, yeah, the last agent, oh my gosh, I can't believe what they did wrong. Where were you when now you're calling me afterwards? But they are curious what went wrong. What do you think should have been done differently? And it's such a temptation to just badmouth the previous agent. Oh, here's what they did wrong. Don't do that. Don't fall into that trap because it makes you look bad, actually. You want to be the positive person. You could say, oh, you know what? Hey, tell me first, what did they do right? What did you like what they did? And you carry that conversation on, but make it about them, okay? About solving their problem. Don't talk about you yet, okay? So before we dive into the scripts and everything, I get carried away because I like scripts, but let's talk first about technology. Okay, so first of all, how many expires and cancels are, and I have to pick one MLS, in the Stellar MLS in the last 30 days, just as an example. Okay, think of your MLS. Do you know how many you had? In the Stellar MLS, which is mid-Florida, 4,178 expired in just 30 days and 6,301 cancels in just 30 days. That's over 10,000 home sellers who couldn't sell their home with a previous agent. And most of them will pick a different agent. We know that, right? And they will pick an agent that they can connect with, somebody who comes from value, from contribution. And that's what this webinar is about. First of all, how can you be first to talk to them? And how can you be of value different than anybody else? Now, if you would have to find the phone numbers on your own, you fall asleep like this guy. I mean, it's so much work. Or you spend a lot of money to pay somebody else and you drain your budget. Okay. So what do you have to do? You have to pull the data up on your MLS. You get the name, the address of the home that is actually sold. Now you need to find out the absentee owner and find out, is that home actually a rented home or where does the seller live? And then find the phone number attached to the seller. And then scrub it against the do not call registry. I think you already noticed, hey, that's a lot of work. That's exactly what I'm doing. I shouldn't be doing this. And then you need to scrub it against the MLS every single day to see what the status is, right? Too much work, guys. I get exhausted just talking about it. There's a faster way to do this. If you simply tell LandVoice what is your MLS, you log in within 30 seconds, you have those 10,000 records complete with phone numbers, absentee owner lookup, do not call registry information, and much more. I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like. So when you wake up in the morning, first of all, you sleep really well because you don't have to be worried what's happening the next day. You know, I turn on my computer, within 30 seconds, I'm on the phone, and I'm the first one to talk to the expireds. I can get a listing appointment that morning for the afternoon out of those 20 or 30 people that I will be first at. Then you find all the information, absentee owner lookup, the name, address, phone number, and everything. You can see if the number is on the National Do Not Call Registry. This number is green. It's not on the DNC. This number was maybe a bad number, so we toggled it red, or it was somebody, not associated with them, so I don't need to call that person anymore. You see the status in the MLS, and that changes every midnight. And you can sort by those features. Oh, by the way, the phone number is in green if it's on the not on the DNC. I hope I pointed that out. Now I can say I want to do expires and cancels in that example, or maybe off market or rented or whatever you want to do. And then it will resort all of that for you. You can even sort it by price. That's what I do. So I have the $1 million property on the top, and that's the first one I call. Then I don't use a dialer. I use actually my cell phone. I tap the number. It does it one by one. That's called manual processing. But you don't manually dial the number. You just tap it, and it dials it just as fast as an auto dialer. Then I create a tag and a note. It stays with that lead forever, right in the Landverse platform, and I move on to the next one, tap the next number one by one. That's a legal, compliant way according to TCPA rules. And you can save yourself the money that you normally spend on a dialer, or you use a dialer. We integrated with Mojo, for example. It automatically goes into Mojo. You can do that as well, but not really any need to do that. Now, that's how you beat the competition, because what are they doing? They're doing it manually. They're getting behind. They're still getting listings, surprisingly, but not as many as you will, not as many appointments as you will, because while they're still doing their research, you're already on the phone scheduling those listing appointments. And you say, yes, Christoph, that's what's called a blue ocean. I understand. Okay. That's what our clients are doing. That's what we invite you to do. Now, don't fall into the trap to talk about yourself, why the listing didn't sell and everything. Right from the get-go, you don't want to do that. It's all about them. Lead with value, contribution, solve the problem. And what is the problem? The problem is right now that they get 20 to 30 calls in that first day and they don't know what to do. Okay, how do I get rid of that? I'm not going to answer my phone anymore, or I have a preconceived response. Let me alone. You guys are awful, right? So, what can you say at the beginning to actually have a great conversation? And remember, you are first when you call because you're using land voice. Here's what you can say. Hi, this is Christoph. I'm a realtor with Advanced Realty here in Orlando. I'm actually calling you first thing this morning to let you know today is not going to be your normal day. And I pause a little bit because that's a pattern interrupt. They say, "Whoa, never heard that before. What is that all about? What are they? Why is it not my normal day?" They want to know. They're going to stay on the phone with you. Today, in fact, you're going to get a lot of calls. As you probably know, this is because your listing expired as of midnight last night. Did your previous agent tell you what would happen starting today? And they will say, no, tell me what's going to happen. Well, in my estimate, you get about 30 to 50 calls on every phone number an agent can find for you. And I'm sorry to say that that includes your spouse and your children if they have phones and if you have children. I'm going to call you today to give you a couple important tips that will really help you to get through today and the rest of the week and minimize those calls that you're getting and really maintain your privacy. Can you take some notes? I think that would help you. Tip number one, make sure you record a voicemail on your cell phone. Inform every agent that calls you that you know your listing expired and you would appreciate if they stop calling because you already are interviewing your top two agents. Oh, thank you so much. I didn't even think of that. Yes, I'll record a voicemail. That's great. Okay, so that's a no-brainer for them. They just needed to be reminded. Tip number two, that is something they have probably not thought about. Inform them that the number that you call them on happens to be not on the National Do Not Call Registry because you have a system that shows you exactly. And if it would have been, you wouldn't have called. Recommend that they go to donotcall.gov right away and register all of the phone numbers in the household. I go as far as to texting them actually the link and I tell them this is free, this is from the government, this is not a private thing, and your number will be on there for a long time. Okay. Then you are now tempted, of course, after that to say, okay, I need a listing appointment. That's why I'm really calling, right? No, don't call it listing appointment. You're going to turn them off because what does listing appointment sound like? Listing sounds like agreement. It sounds like you have to sign something, make a decision, and they don't know you yet. They don't want to do that yet. Instead, I found it works best if you call it a side-by-side analysis that you put together that outlines exactly what you would do differently or better than the agent who let the listing expire. And that's what you want to tell them. Look, I worked really hard on this side-by-side analysis that outlines what I would do different or better than the listing who let your listing expire. I took a look at your photos and your description, and I have something to say about that. I noticed you didn't have a drone video. There was no call capture recording, no virtual tour. I actually put a lot together in a side-by-side analysis that I would like to drop off for you that will really help you to get your listing sold this time around. Would this afternoon or evening work better for you? I have time at 5 o'clock or 7. What works better that I drop this off? If you do this, guys, you will find yourself being invited to their home because they don't say, "Oh yeah, just give me that. Let me look it over." You say, "Can I show you? Point out a couple of things that I think is most important," and you go basically through that process, which is your listing presentation, what you would do different, what they didn't do, and that's how you schedule at least one appointment a day. People want to know that, right? They want to hear what went wrong, what should have been done differently. And can you imagine what would happen to your business and what will happen to your business by having one of those appointments every single afternoon? It would change your business dramatically because you will get an additional listing if you just do one a week. If you're like me, you say, no, but I want to have one a day. That would be 4, 5 a week. Out of 4, 5 appointments, hopefully 3 transactions, right? 3 listings. And I know you will close every single transaction and find the buyer and get that done. That's how we can fulfill on the promise of this webinar, 5x your listings and your results. It starts always with expireds, especially in this market. But you also want to go to the older expireds. They're like fine wine. The older they get, the better. And some of you think, yeah, I know, 3 weeks back, I can do that. And I should do it maybe 3 months back. But have you considered 2020, 2021? Why should you be going back that far? Top agents are crushing it right now, focusing on 2021. Here's why. Those homeowners back in those years gave up on the market when their home value was a lot lower. We had a 46% appreciation nationwide since then, right? So it's a huge advantage for them to actually reconsider putting the home on the market today. You have virtually no competition if you go that far back. 254,000 on average in the United States to 271. That sounds like a joke today, right? I mean, wow, that is cheap. Well, we had $117,000 appreciation in just 5 years. Those homeowners, when they hear that, when they say, yes, I'm in that category, many of them will say, yes, we have been waiting, we have been planning, we've been thinking when it's the right time. Well, right now, home values are actually dropping off. They're flattening out. Now is the right time to put your home on the market. Let me show you exactly how much your home is worth. Let me show you some comparison. It just goes from there. If you contact enough people from the past, from 2021, 2022, even further back, you can add another 5 transactions between now and the end of the year, guys. At least. I have a client actually, she got 10 in a month. And she has never done this before. She said, oh my gosh, mind blowing. I didn't even think of those years. And you pick them out like raisins out of a cake. Here's how we do it. If you do it on your own, it's a lot of research. There will be thousands and in some cases, tens of thousands of expireds that you need to sort through to find the phone number, scrub them, take out the short sales foreclosures. We are the only company who has a patented technology that automatically removes all the junk data and gives you the phone numbers. And that eliminates a competition because they're not doing this. And we make it exclusive. Tell us your zip code and exclusively you own that zip code for all expireds. And our system removes the foreclosures, actives, and solds, adds the phone numbers to it, the absentee owner lookup, the DNC information, and you get that list exclusively to you, and nobody else will get it. And that's how you can add more transactions to what you're doing. Here's a script. My name is Christoph. I'm a realtor with Advanced Realty here in Orlando. It looks like you tried selling your home all the way back in 2021. I'm sure you haven't heard from agent in years. I actually specialize in bringing homes back on the market today that didn't sell in the last couple of years. Do you know how much your home value has appreciated since you took your home off the market? Have you thought about selling your home again? Oh, really? When were you planning on doing this? Oh, interesting. I actually would like to provide you with a free home evaluation and show you some comparable houses that recently sold in your area. I think you will be surprised at what you can sell for right now. Guys, it's not hard, isn't it? Is it? Imagine you are sharing this with 20, 30, 50 people. Will you get two or three or five or 10 who say, yes, I would like to know how much home is worth? I haven't talked to an agent for a long time, 3 or 4 years. Niches are riches. The nichier the niche, the richer the rich. If you do something that nobody else is doing or have thought about, it will work. You will get business that others are not getting. Okay. So we gotta always think a little bit different than everybody else and that's why it's so great when you're attending the advance event, those breakout sessions that exposes you to those type of ideas. And this is not an idea. This is what the top agents in the country are doing right now. Okay. Old expires is a big one. Now, don't wait until the end of the year like those dinosaurs. Oh, I'm going to do this next year. This is the year to do it. Add those couple transactions before the end of the year. Make it easier for you. Make it a great year. Finish strong. All right. And it's not that much, guys. If you think, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can afford this. No, it just starts like this. Write down your top four zip codes. If you have a flyer in front of you, or you're at the event and you have one of those in your swag bag. If you don't, come to the booth, grab a flyer. Write the four zip codes down here, and we do for free for you a data lookup to see if that zip code has been taken, because I remember those are exclusive. If not, we let you know if you know how many expires there might be. We will let you know what the appreciation has been, if it's a good one. And then you could sign up if you want and say, I want the data. And don't be worried, oh, this is expensive and exclusive zip codes. It sounds like thousands of dollars a month. I can't do that. Guys, normally we charge $250 for owning two zip codes. At this event, we give it to you for 250. I don't know where you can spend $250 to potentially get like 4 or 5 listings, but this is one of those. So that's a no-brainer. That's something you should walk away from the event as a no-brainer and say, I'm going to do that for sure. This is totally worth it. Okay. And if you can handle that business, then give it to somebody as referral and get the referral bonus. But I'm sure you can handle a couple more transactions. For those of you who are not at the event, who say, how do I get this information to you? Okay, here's a number. Write this down. 801 227 9909. That's not our office. It's actually my cell phone, and it comes directly to me. I'm the VP of Business Development. I'm not on commission, so don't worry. It's not like a sales pressure. I will do the lookup for you, and it's my passion to do that. And I will get back to you and let you know if you can have it, if it's available, and so on. Okay, so you got that number. You can pause and listen to it again, since this is a recording. Okay, let's talk about for sale by owners. I promised you we would talk about a couple lead sources that can help you get listings. And for sale by owners is one of those. I have a friend, actually, he's one of the top coaches in the country, and he said, there are many ways to grow a real estate business. The fastest way to do so are expireds and for sale by owners. There's no other way, because why? They're consistent and they're predictable and they're motivated. Okay, so why is not everybody crushing it with for sale by owners? A lot of it is a mindset. People think of a for sale by owner like rejection. I can't handle that right now. So much is going on. I don't want to have people yell at me. Well, how about if you change your mindset and call them FISBO, stands for fastest source of business opportunity. And you change your script, and we got to train you on doing that. In fact, it includes no selling yourself. It's again providing value. It's incredible. And it's one of the funnest calls you can have in a day, because they are just saying, wow, thank you very much. It's amazing. Okay. You can have this type of conversations every day. But first of all, how do you get all the for sale by owner data? Because some of you say, well, you know what? There are like 100 for sale by owners in my area. I don't have time to find them all. I don't have time to go to Zillow every single day. And scrub them against the DNC and do the MLS lookup. How can I get it? Well, first of all, you have to understand it's worth it. Okay. 87% will end up listing with an agent. So even if you put a lot of work into it, it's still worth it. But the problem is it can slow you down if you do it on your own. So while you're doing all that research that I just talked about, other agents may actually be already at the doorstep or calling them or visiting them and getting that listing appointment or getting that conversation going that leads to a listing appointment. I don't have to tell you that's an easier way, right? You know, I'm with Land Voice. We do for sale by owners. Here's how we do it and give it to you without any second of research on your own part and getting behind and getting stuck and spending maybe money to hire a VA or an ISA to do that work for you. You can do that all on your own. Simply log into Land Voice. It takes you 30 seconds to do that or less. Give us your top 2 counties. And from that moment on, every single day, Monday through Sunday, you click on for sale by owners instead of expireds now, and you see the dashboard with all your for sale by owners. If you click and you see the picture of their home, you see the phone numbers and everything, scrubbed against the do not call registry, you even get the ad. Can you imagine having the ad in front of you at the click of a button and talking to 30 for sale by owners in one day, having all that information in front of you, and they think you did hours and hours of research to connect with them, and it took you literally a second? This is valuable. This is going to get you listings. I have a guy, he says it's like shooting fish in a barrel, especially with the script that we have for you. So make sure you write down your top 2 counties for sale by owners, either on the flyer that's in front of you, or if you don't have it, text it to 801-227-9909. Write your name, your 2 counties, and I let you know. We are going to Land Voice, and I'm going to let you know exactly how many for sale by owners did you have in the last day, in the last 6 months, 30 days, whatever you want to know, even up to 12 months back, because Land Voice gives you all the for sale by owners for the last 12 months, including the ones from today, from last night, and going forward, of course. And we scrub everyone against the MLS. It will show you a status listed, sold, pending, active, whatever it is, or still a for sale by owner. Guys, data is king. The agent with data always wins. And listings is the best way how you can grow your business. Okay, the agent who has listings controls the market. So make sure you get listings from both expires and for sale by owners. There are enough of them right now. And with the data that we give you, it's easy. You can be first. Now, don't leave out pre-foreclosures. Too many agents, they get busy with 1 or 2 things and don't diversify themselves. I know that some people say focus on one thing only, but we have to realize that there's a cyclical nature to every lead source. You know, when expireds are up for sale by owners are down, vice versa. Pre-foreclosures come throughout the whole year. Economic headwinds have led to that. Okay, we don't have as many as we had in the past, like, um, back in the time when there were like thousands of pre-foreclosures in every area, but we have hundreds and hundreds, and that's enough for you to get another couple transactions and help somebody out in real distress. You have 60 to 180 days to help somebody who got into pre-foreclosure get their home sold before it gets complicated, right? Before it goes into foreclosure and then into auction and so on. Is it enough time to get a home sold? Of course. Your average time might be right now in this market, probably 90 days. And that's a long time. Those people are going to be forever grateful if you help them get the home sold at the height of the value of the home. It will help them and it will help you. It's a two-way win. Here's what it looks like when you get the data on Land Voice. I love it on my cell phone. Desktop is great, but cell phone is even faster. I simply tap the number, it does it for me. I don't have to hand dial, manual dial. I personally don't use a dialer. I just use that, tap the number, then create a tag, a note. I can cross out a number if I want to, and move on that way. You can go through hundreds in a very short time that way. Okay. Now the big question is, how much success can you have with pre-foreclosures? Is it worth it? And also, what do you say? So you get no or minimize any rejection. I'm going to show you somebody who's crushing it in Florida, Christina. Right now, she will share with you the quality of the data of LandVoice, what she's getting out of it, and then I'm going to share the script with you that she has been using to get that type of result. She's going to share with you right now.
We are absolutely crushing it on Land Voice. The pre-foreclosure data is spot on. Our team in less than 3 weeks has 17 listings. I highly recommend it. We're getting ready to go through a shift. A lot of us are already in the shifting market, and leveraging the pre-foreclosure data and getting back to things that worked 10 years ago in short sales has been super powerful for us. So highly recommend it.
Did you catch that? 17 listings, okay, from foreclosures, and the data is spot on. So here's how I can help you find out how many pre-foreclosures you have in your top two counties. You already know the drill. Just write them down on this sheet or text it to me. The number again is 801-227-9909. If you already texted it for sale by owners, you don't need to do it again. I will automatically do a lookup for you for sale by owners and pre-foreclosures, assuming that you're interested in both of those numbers, and let you know how many you have. Okay. Of course, if you want to get the data and actually get the access to LandVoice, you can take advantage of this, buy it at the event, or call me in and I get it for you, and you get a huge discount. I'll show you later how much that will be. So some of you may have said, you know what, I saw what you did here with pre-foreclosure, but I already saw distressed. What's the difference? Well, distressed is, of course, homeowners who are not yet in pre-foreclosure, but they're heading towards it. And if I were in your shoes right now listening to this, I would think, man, I want to know who those people are. That would be cool to know who they are. But that's kind of like a crystal ball, right? I wish I had a crystal ball knowing who's heading into pre-foreclosure, but there's no way because the county records don't tell me if somebody gets into pre-foreclosure until the day it's recorded. And that's when everybody gets it, it seems like. Well, what would it be worth to you to know of somebody in financial distress who has not yet received a list pendant notice, notice of default, or pre-foreclosure notice? It would be huge, right? Almost like I give everything for that. Sets me apart from any other investor and agent. Well, here's the good news. We have that data for you. Okay, we know exactly who is missing mortgage payments, gets a letter of demand from the bank, and we get the data to you. Some of you are wondering, where is LandVoice getting all the data from? And how are they better than Radix or Vulcan 7? Why does everybody say LandVoice has the most accurate data guaranteed? Well, 2 years ago, we were actually acquired by a $1 billion company. That company changed our data providers, our platform, everything we've been doing for 30 years. We're still doing the right thing, but we have now better data providers. In fact, the same data provider that you're getting the data from LandVoice from is where law enforcement, private detectives, and attorneys are getting their hardest to find phone numbers, including unlisted numbers. And we can give it to you because we have to prove to our data provider by getting access to them that our clients had a background check done, and they're professionals. They're not just some investors or somebody who does not have a background check done. So that's why you're getting this type of data. Now, I got sidetracked a little bit. I will help you to get access to your distressed homeowners. And you simply write your top, I would say, give me about 5 zip codes, and I will let you know how many distressed homeowners are in each zip code. That gives you intelligence to know how many pre-foreclosures you may have in 30 to 60 days. You will be ahead of the curve of anybody else in your market. You will know something that nobody else knows. And that intelligence I give you for free. Okay, so write it down here. Also, text me your zip codes and let me know. Now, if you want to have the names, the addresses, the demographics, household income, net worth, everything about them, and the numbers, so you can connect with them. Of course, it costs something. We have one competitor, they charge $4 per record, which is actually great when you think about it. Wow, for $4, I can get that type of information. But here you're gonna love this. Land Voice is charging you half, $2 per record. Now we sell it in batches of 500 because no data provider is gonna do a lookup for you for one or two records. They do it in batches of 500. That's how we can do it. And we pass those savings on to you, $2 elite. And if you do it again next month, even if you have different zip codes, if you have done it 1 month already and you do it again the next month, we drop the price down for you even to $1 a record. You will never find distressed homeowners for that low of price with a 95% accuracy of data and phone numbers. Okay, so do yourself a favor, fill that out, send it to 801-227-9909. See me at the booth or my colleague, and we can help you out with distressed. Now, when you call them, I promise you the script, don't use that script. Never ever say, I know you're in foreclosure or in distress. Let me help you. Instead, Christina, who you saw earlier with 17 transactions a quarter, she said, use the neighborhood search script. For you who don't remember what that is, here's a reminder. Hi, I'm Christoph. I'm a neighbor in your neighborhood. I'm an agent actually. And I know your home isn't for sale right now. I'm aware of that. But have you ever thought about selling? Remember, you are now targeting distressed homeowners or pre-foreclosures with that script. Of course, they want to know how much the home is worth. Of course, they're gonna, when you say, if you were offered the right price for your home, would you be willing to say, they say, well, since I have you on the phone, can you tell me how much my home is worth? I'm just curious right now. I heard a couple of things, but I haven't talked to an agent for a while. And that is your chance for that listing appointment to form that relationship. So form that relationship first before you say, well, let me be your agent. Okay. First, give them what they want, the home value. And we have that script and many others for you absolutely free. Okay. Download it at landvoice.com/free downloads. You're getting a lot of stuff at Advance for free, right? Everybody gives you, and that's wonderful because we got to do what we tell our clients. We first add value, and then we can do an agreement and a contract and so on. But first we provide value. That's what we want to do with you by giving you the scripts for free. Now let's tie it all together. Geographic farming is a tool and a method and a strategy that exposes you to more potential sellers simply by circle prospecting around a listing or an open house or even a listing from your competition if you don't have any, because listings have babies. I'm sure you heard that before. What does this mean? That means simply that when there's activity in the market, then other neighbors who know about that activity suddenly put their home up for sale, or maybe they know somebody who wants to move in. Maybe they're their parents. Like I would love to have my parents close by as they age, right? So when a home opens up in my market, I want to know about that first. And that's how you get more transactions, usually 3 or 4 more transactions, just because of circle prospecting. And if you don't do circle prospecting, you're missing out on those additional 2, 3, 4 transactions. Landvoice has a tool, we call it Neighborhood Search, that gives you access to up to 3,000 neighbors a month that were not in the database before, but you can add them to your database simply by drawing a boundary around that neighborhood, around that listing, clicking submit. And I apologize, that's an old screenshot. You get more than what you see here. Now you're getting the household income, the net worth most of the time. Of course, always the phone numbers, always scrubbed against the do not call registry, the address, and all the information about their home. And you can capture up to 3,000 search results a month per account, up to 3 phone numbers. Guys, this is enormously important. I cannot overemphasize that. Circle prospecting, geo farming, just listed, just sold, neighborhood search, whatever you want to call it, it ties it all together. Okay. If you're a brand new agent and you don't know where to start, and you say, I don't even know which neighborhood to go to, or I don't even have a listing, how can I circle prospect? Well, circle prospect around your competition's listing, or go to the MLS. Find a neighborhood that has a 6% or higher turnover rate, and then start with 500 homes. Draw a boundary around 500 homes. Now you know that 30 of those 500 people within a year, guaranteed, because that's a statistic, are going to sell their home. And by reaching out to all of them, you're going to be reaching out to 30 potential sellers within that year. And they will buy homes. So it's actually 60 possible transactions. I get so excited talking about neighborhood search. It's so effective. It's incredible. Okay, that's why so many coaches are talking about it. I'm going to share with you one short testimonial right now that talks, it's actually from last week, that shows you the accuracy of the data and what can happen if you use the data. Here you go.
Hi, this is Rebecca Adams with Keller Williams in the Sarasota area. I just want to give a huge shout out to Land Voice, and I'm a huge fan. When I moved to Florida the first time in agent business, Land Voice is how I got all of my business. I joined a market center that had 350 agents. In my first year of knowing nobody, I earned so much business. I was in the top 30 in that office several times that year, all because of Land Voice. I woke up in the morning, I had a list of who to call, called them, learned the scripts, and followed up. Without Land Voice, I couldn't have done it.
Yeah, I remember when I met her, I was walking at an event and she said, "Hey, Christoph, you with Land Voice," had my t-shirt on, right? I have to tell you something. And she told me that thing. I said, "You know what, Rebecca, I hear that all the time. I'm so glad that happened to you. Let's record it really quick." And we are hearing that over and over again. We would love to hear that from you actually in 2 weeks. You know, that you say, I got my first two listings in my first 2 weeks. That really works. You're right. Okay. Here's what you're going to get from Land Voice when you sign up. Everything I talked about is in one place, in one platform. You don't have to log in with different usernames and passwords somewhere else or different things. It's all in one place. You get your expireds, your for sale by owners, your pre-foreclosure, and your neighborhood search. Access to all of those tools in the Land Voice platform, and for $14.97 a year. Guys, this is incredible, right? The first listing will pay for years and years and years of that subscription. By comparison, our competition who uses or has the same categories of leads, the side-by-side analysis, what you should be doing with your clients, by the way, and apples to apples compared, you can see that we are the closest competitor, half of the price, and the most expensive, a third of the cost. And not only that, we give you more accurate data, the highest accuracy in the industry. I already told you about that. And you're getting more neighborhood search results than with anybody else. Okay, with more data. So it's a no-brainer. Now, at the Jared James event, you always expect a special deal. I know that if I would leave it like that, you would say, well, what about me? I'm at the event right now. Well, we anticipated that. So we did something special for you. That's for the duration of you listening to this video right now and to the end of the event, okay, when that video is taken down. So it's a limited time. You're getting, instead of $14.97, we take another $500 off to give you a huge incentive to say, okay, this is it, I'm in, let's do it. And you're only for $9.97. Now it's a fraction of what you could get it anywhere else, and you know you get the best data at the best price, hands down. Okay, there's no Black Friday that's going to be lower. There's no Christmas or Christmas in July next year or something. This is it. Okay, this is basically, if you do the math quickly, upfront $9.97. That's how you get the deal. That would be a month, $83, I believe, only. And in a day, $2.71, I believe. The question is not, can I afford to do this, but can I afford not to do this? This is amazing. I hear so many. In fact, I share with you one more testimonial here. I had a friend whose broker called me just recently, and he said, Christoph, you have to hear this story. This guy moved into our office from out of state, and in his first month, he got 9 listings, and all he had is Land Voice, nothing else. He didn't have a sphere of influence, no past clients. Let's do a webinar about his success. And so we planned the webinar, and then I had to change the title of the webinar several times because we had 9 listings in that short time. And then he said, okay, I have another one. At the end, it was 12 listings, okay, in the first month. It's incredible. Okay, so I got sidetracked again, but I want you to take advantage of this offer. And before you do this, I throw in one more bonus for you. I will double the amount of data that you're getting. Normally you get 2 counties. I know you texted me 2 counties, and I didn't want to give that away at the beginning, but we're gonna give you a total of 4 counties. And if you're saying I don't need 4 counties, then think again. Get that $1 million listing. That's great for you. But if you don't want to get it because it's too far away, set that appointment and give it to an agent in that area. And you get 25 or 30% of commission share, commission split. Is it worth it? Yes, because you don't need to do anything, but you're just handing them the appointments. You get them easy with Land Voice because you have access to the data, the scripts, and you're first to them. So you're going to have so many appointments that you can't even manage. So give them away. Take advantage of those 4 counties. That's a $200 value, normally $16.97 annually, $14.97 plus 200, right? And you get it only for $9.97 annually. Okay, the event pricing is $12.97, but for this special breakout session, we do it for $9.97. So unbeatable. You save $700. I think I have a problem with this video, but let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'll tell you what she is saying.
I want to tell you all.
Yeah, all about Land Voice. She says, in my first 2 weeks, I got 2 listings and 10 more appointments. So a total of 12. The neighborhood search data is phenomenal. Their pre-foreclosure data is excellent. I'm going to do that next. And I highly recommend Land Voice. So I met her like 2 months ago at some event, and I always record them when they have something like this to say. I hope you will be our next recording that we put out there and help people understand the value of
I want to tell you all.
So for Q&A, if you have any questions, text me 801-227-9909. Here is the website for the free training downloads, like the scripts and everything, and some resources, even an ebook, 10 listings in 7 days. And remember, the deal that we have for you is for right now, okay? For this event. You get insanely good data at the lowest price guaranteed today. So I am so excited that you spent this hour with me, that you took the time. Hopefully you took good notes. You can rewatch it, but most importantly, take action. Let me know what we can look up for you for free, and then let's make it happen for you. Okay, your business is going to be different after you have Land Voice. If you're with a competition, make the switch, save money, get better data, and I'm happy to help you. If you're at the event, see us at the booth. Travis and I will be there to help you out, or Jake and I, and say hi. We give you a handshake or a hug, and let's have a conversation and help you with your prospecting. Thank you so much. Let's do it. See you at the top, because the bottom is simply too crowded. Thank you again to Jared James Annual Advance for hosting this and for allowing us to be part of this fantastic, phenomenal event. Goodbye.